it's also important to sit and reflect on what's happening right now. Who's the kid in front of you? You just hit that milestone. Celebrate that. Have your kid be excited too. And it's so cool. And I love it. It's so amazing.
Welcome to Mom Meets World, a podcast talking all things motherhood, friendships, and life. We're your hosts, Elena Brookmeyer
and Peyton Saraiva. We have a lot of ground to cover, so let's dive right in.
Hey, y'all.
Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to another episode of Mom Meets World. We have a great conversation we would love to share with you guys today. But first, we kind of catch up on our weeks, see how Miss Elena is doing prepping for her big trip to Portugal. I am in the midst of planning my 30th birthday. Can't believe it's coming this soon. But also, we have a wonderful time talking about a lot of quality things that make our bedrooms, cozy, comfortable, getting into fall. But also, I use linen, which is spring. And then we kind of get into the heart of our conversation, talking all things milestones with toddlers. We kind of get to hear a little bit about Elena's journey with potty training, but we also get to talk about highlighting a lot of the milestones of parenthood and cheering each other on, highlighting our parents, our partners, and each other as we go through these big fundamental and developmental changes within our toddlers. What do you think, Elena?
That's a good one. Yep, we cover a lot, and it's good stuff, especially if you have achieved this part of your kiddos' lives or you haven't yet, whatever it is. But we definitely cover a lot of bases in it. So it's a good one as always.
All right, guys, you ready to dive in?
Let's do it. All right. So Peyton, give us a scoop on what's going on in your week.
Yes. So week is going well. First of all, just wanted to acknowledge my it's funny because down in Australia they call athletic wear, they call it active wear, and there's a lot of memes that people, especially moms, go to the grocery store in their active wear, and that's very true. So I'm here in my active wear. I did my run this morning, and then I've been quite busy, so that's been good. But what's new with our week? So I am turning 30 on the 26th. So I am full swing ahead planning my birthday party. It's been wonderful. I've got a lot of really good friends down here who have been really chipping in and helping. We're doing a spring theme, and we have this beautiful patio, deck that overlooks kind of the ocean and the area around us. And I've decorated it with some fairy lights, and we're going to put a bunch of tables together, and I'm really looking forward to it. So 30 is a big one for me. And I think I wanted to ask you, I want to do an episode of 30 lessons that I've learned by 30 or I've been actually inquiring that. It's been part of my journaling I've been doing the past 6 months. And I've been just reflecting on lessons that I've learned over the past 30 years. And let's be real, obviously the first 10 years are not coming back to me, but I think it's just been a really good time for me to reflect on big things, big changes, big important things that make me feel good and what I want to look at going into my next 30 years, 60 years or whatever. And so, that's kind of been a big focus of my attention. So planning my party, which those are over in a second, but I'm really thankful to have good friends that are able to come. But also really just reflecting on what a great 30 years I've had and what is to come. So it's been pretty busy with me, to be honest with you.
Yeah, party planning, the big 3-0.
Yeah, I've actually thought about 30 more so than any other birthday my whole life. And I just think that once you hit 30, it's just going to keep getting better from there. Everyone says rest in peace to your 20s, your youth, all this stuff. But I feel confident in who I am, my goals, and what I want for our family dynamics more so than ever. And I'm really looking forward to all of that continuing to evolve and change. And, I would have bet no money. I don't know how to phrase that better, but I would never have thought that I'd be living in a small coastal town in Australia as I turned 30 if you would have asked me 10 years ago, even 5 years ago, to be honest with you. I just got a Facebook notification that 4 years ago I started my job at Salon Lane in Sydney in the middle of the pandemic. And here we are, a child, married, in a different town, in a different house after moving 3 times. So I'm looking forward to what's to come. I'm hoping to kind of slow our roll down on moving and all that sort of thing and kind of build some roots. But that's been kind of what's happening with my week. And what's going on with you? tell me, you're planning in your own ways. Do you want to share a little what you're
Yeah.
planning for?
Yeah. So this coming week, when this airs, I will be actually the day that this airs on a Thursday. I will be up in the air going on my Portugal trip that I've mentioned in the previous episode, which I'm so psyched for. Slightly nervous, of course, to just make sure that everything's possibly like everything that could possibly be prepped for my house to run smoothly with Chloe. Thinking that I
Absolutely.
have all the control and that it all falls on me. That's just how I am, unfortunately. But I'm trying to just take a breath about it. So yeah, I'm trying to look forward to the actual trip. That seems to be a problem for me. I focus so much on prepping and planning for success that I'm not able to like plan the actual like what I'm actually trying to plan for. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Like I can't just enjoy the trip or like that's what happened with Ben and my Belize trip because I was prepping for the grandparents to hang out with Chloe while we were gone last
Mm-hmm.
April. And then we were there and I was just like, oh, well, shoot, I didn't plan so much for our actual trip, our actual like late honeymoon. Hello. So it's nice to have my other girls help me with the planning and like we're all working together. Actually, they're taking on a lot of the planning, to be honest, because I'm like, I don't know anyone else who's really been to Portugal. So you try to get that info and all the tips of where to go and what to do. So yeah, it's just being able to rely on them a little bit for that part feels really nice. But prepping for, Ben's going to stay with his work routine. He's not going to take any days off, as far as I'm aware. And then his mom's actually going to be coming out here for the whole 10 days that I'm gone. So that'll be really nice. That'll be sweet, like really good bonding time for her. Her name's Kathy. Shout out to you, Kathy, if you're listening. Love you. Especially love you extra for taking care of that girly of ours for a full 10 days. It's going to be fun. And so yeah, just like making sure that like there's notes or maybe I go grocery shopping beforehand. Obviously they'll need to go grocery shopping again at some point. All those little things. So that's just has been taking up my time and energy in a physical and mental way. But yeah, it's gonna be really good. I'm excited to like start, you know, finally being able to wear the cooler ish kind of sort of outfits that I've been like prepping and visualizing for Portugal because I'm like, oh, I can dress all European, whatever that looks like, but not stick out like an American. But your point of the what do they call it? Athletic wear?
They call it activewear.
Active wear. So like right now I'm wearing, I've told you guys before, I'm a Lulu girl. So I have a Lulu top on and it has the built-in bra, which is just money. Because
Yeah.
sometimes they have regular, quote unquote, regular shirts, right? That just like look fine, but I don't have to worry about like messing with my sweaty bra underneath. Like I feel like I'm able to sweat or just like move around comfortably in these built-in bras. So that's coming in clutch for me with all the packing and whatnot too. So yeah,
Did
just
you know?
like looking forward
Did
to
I
it.
did I tell you Chase is Portuguese?
Yes, yes.
And
Wait, but
Chase
does
like
he
grew
go a
up
lot?
spending like every summer growing up. They go there. We still have a lot of Portuguese family. Like when we were just at Chase's dad's funeral, his aunt and his Chase's cousin were at the funeral, and they're like full Portuguese, like half English, like they speak English obviously, but
Uh
like
huh.
Portuguese, but also live in New Jersey. Coolest accent. But they have family there every like they go back all the time. And actually, Chase's sister just got engaged in Portugal,
Oh,
and they
that's
went and
right.
stayed with family in Portugal. So like, Portugal is a little bit of home. We have to have some Portuguese tarts,
Yeah.
and you have to have some cod, and just
Because have you
you have
been?
to have a lot of port. Not yet, but we're going in
Okay.
2026 is the plan.
For the
2025 we're going to go to
wedding,
Iceland. So the wedding's in
right?
Iceland,
Okay. Okay.
and then the year after that we're going to go to Portugal in 2026, I believe is the plan, and we're going to go and
Nice.
we're going to spread some of Fernando's ashes, but also just like see some of the Portuguese family. Cooper will be older, and our second kid hopefully will be old enough that like we can travel and spend some time with family, but also do our own little thing. And the really awesome thing is Chase's mom is a big traveler, so she wants to come along, and Chase's sister and her then it will be wife, they want to come along, and their kids, and we're going to try to do like a big family trip in 2026 to Portugal. So I'm really
Love
hoping that
it.
you have a good time and you can give us all the tips that you guys did and all of
Yeah.
that information.
Apparently, Portugal's the place to go. So that's awesome. And if Chase has any recommendations, please have him text me or, have him tell you to text me, whatever, because I am all ears because we're down for any
Absolutely.
last minute recommendations. But I can't wait
Okay.
to tell you guys all about it when I'm back.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Can't wait. Well, have so much fun. I can't wait for our birthday call. And I want you to be present and enjoy yourself. And hopefully, at some point, I can meet all your friends
Oh,
and you and I
yes.
can plan some girls' trips in the future as well.
Yes. So, so psyched. Yay.
Yay. Cool. Well, that I think that leads us into our moment of the week.
Yay.
Yep, yep, yep. So I think what we were just kind of running through is things that are really important to us. And I think something that I find to be really important is at the end of the day, you have your safe space, which is your room. Hopefully, everyone has their safe space. And something that I am like pretty adamant about is we have a king size bed, but it's the sheets that we put on our bed. It's really important for us to have quality. And we found this brand, it's called Bed Threads, and it's an Australian linen bed company, but they also ship internationally. So don't worry. I ordered some sheets in America and they sent them out, and they are just my absolute favorite. There are our go tos. I've got sheets and comforters in all three of our rooms in our house, including the guest room. Um, and you can go on their website. You can do little bundles, so you can like build a bundle for your room. So you can like pick and choose the colors. They have a mock room, so you can say my room is white, and then you
Ooh.
can pick the colors of the sheets you want. So you can pick the flat sheet, fitted sheet, as well as then the comforter or the duvet on top. And they are just my absolute favorite. Bedthreads.com.au, but you can also get them in America, and our linen sheets are the best. And what I'm doing to transition into fall is our current room. We have like, it's called smog. It's like a nice dark blue, but I'm actually going to put, we have it's turmeric. So it's like kind of like a burnt orange color.
Ooh.
I'm going to take that from our guest room and I'm going to put that on our bed in our room. And I'm going to start incorporating a little bit of the autumn vibes in our bedroom. So that's going to be our safe
Yay.
space to enjoy the fall.
Ah, love that idea. So it's not just aesthetically pleasing, but it's also, I'm sure, like you just melt in it, right?
Yeah, it's
Like
so
quality
cozy.
fabric.
Super quality. And something I also really like respected, I had a hole in the bottom of our sheets. I think where our feet were, there was a little hole. I sent them a picture and I take care of the sheets. I hang dry them like they're supposed to. I never use the fabric softeners, et cetera, et cetera. So I sent
Hmm.
an email over to them, not expecting a response. They sent us back the free sheet, like the free one back, and then an additional flat sheet just because, like
Oh,
as a gift, is like a thank you for responding back. Here's our new color. Let us know what you think. And I also
good
like
customer
tag them in
service.
post. Fantastic customer service. So 10 out of 10 recommends. Highly, highly, highly recommend.
Love it. Yes, that's so important to just like know you have that to look forward to at the end of the day and that you just like feel good about that space that you're ending your day in and you just want to be comfy. And it's not my moment for this week, but just on the topic of bed sheets and whatnot, we have satin. I know silk is probably better, but we have satin like pillowcases because I know
Nice.
that really helps with like your skin and hair and stuff. So just throwing that out there too. That's some could be something to look into. But a kind of bedroom staple for me is a humidifier because you know how
Dry,
freaking
dry,
dry it
dry.
is out here. It's insane. So, being in the desert in Phoenix, it's just like that dry air just sucks you dry, you know? So, good for your skin and everything just to have that going all night. But also, when we get sick or feel something coming on or allergies or whatever it is, I feel like that really helps prevent whatever it is from like fully evolving. I used to fully believe that when we have a humidifier for Chloe's room since she was a baby. So she kind of got us on this trend actually, because like that's such a popular thing to have in kids' rooms. So just like getting one for ourselves has been a deal breaker of just feeling that extra comfort in that way, especially out here since the air is so dry. So that's my little moment for this week.
I love it. I love it. I love it. And
Yeah.
I have to laugh because I just purchased the Essence, like it's like a whole skin routine kit from Fuchsia, the spa that we are partners
Yeah.
with. Um So I was gifted a kit from them, but I also purchased a couple additional items for my skin. And I'm finding that I'm hitting this age of 30 now where I'm trying to prioritize my skin and my hair a lot more because I mean it's for the rest of our lives. But it's funny because right now I like cleaned my sheets yesterday and I did a full skincare routine before bed. And I
Yes.
got into bed last night and I was like, I am a woman. I am beautiful. I feel so good. And I had to laugh because Chase probably looked over and was like, why are you all oily and in like bright colors? Because my
What's
face
that
is like,
smell?
what's that scent? What's happening over there? But I'm over here like, yes, I feel so beautiful. So I just have
Why
to
does it
laugh
look
because,
like you just got a massage?
is that Vaseline on your skin? Why are you so shiny?
Be like, don't you mean I'm glowing? Obviously, but just wait till you wake up, right? Because that's when it all sets in and you're just like ready for the day.
Absolutely. This is random, but it's on topic. I don't know if anyone's been watching Emily in Paris. It's the new show on Netflix. There's season
Yeah.
two, whatever, season three's out. But there was just a scene where there's a new skincare line, but the skincare the substance was lubricant, and so these people are walking around with lube all over their faces but it's supposed to be skincare, but everyone's like so oily and shiny and they're trying to promote it as this like super hydrating da 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 da, and it was so funny when they found out what it was. And I have to laugh because I was laying in bed last night and again I just want like really healthy products in my skin, but I'm sure I laid there and had like the moon hitting my face and I was like glistening is how I felt. But I woke up today and felt great.
Like the
So
lube.
like the lube.
Oh no, now you're
So
going to think of that.
oh no. Well no. Ooh. Sorry, Mom, if you're listening.
Well, speaking of your purchase and gift from our spa fuchsia, let's remind everyone that this is the last, let's say, I think it's 10 days, so just over a week left over of their BOGO sale that they're going to be doing for just our listeners. So that's going to be just at their Awatuki location. Keep that in mind. Do a little TJ's, Trader Joe's, shop and ship right after. Just get that full trip in there after you feel refreshed. And yeah, so remember BOGO meaning buy one, get one free. So if you don't even want that second facial, they are offering a waxing service of your choice. Ooh, how fancy. And if you don't want both services for whatever reason, maybe you're psycho, you can gift it to your
Give it to your
friend.
friend.
Yes, but they don't have to know that you don't want it, right? Be like, oh, I'm treating you. So gift it to your friend, to your mom, whoever, your partner. And so make sure you jump on that by the end of September. So you have to call in or maybe stop by in person and tell them Awatuki is the code, or even Tuki for short. And you can definitely book the appointment within the month of October, but you have to call them to book it within September. So just throwing that out there, you guys. This is our last little mention of it in our episode. We're hoping to have more to come with this amazing spa. They have been so fun and amazing to work with, and we know other people who have been taking advantage already. So take advantage. It's a good one.
All right. Well, and also thank you to everyone over there at Fuchsia. And I think that kind of
Yes.
transitioned us into our topic of the week. And, you know, speaking of life and all these big milestones, as we were talking about my 30th birthday coming up, we are now talking about milestones with kids and toddlers specifically, but also like the first 2 to 3 years of life. The kids grow and change so dramatically, as we know. I mean, the first reflecting back, I don't think in your entire life you change as much as you do in the first 2 to 3 years. So I think it's important and exciting to chat about what milestones have we hit, big mom celebrations, but also big wins for our kids. How do we celebrate them? What do those celebrations look like? And what are the milestones to come?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's a huge topic. Even so when Chloe was a baby, right? So being as young as 0 months to 1 years old, I think is technically by the book, baby or infant. So I was so always like trying to track, okay, is she on track with each milestone and blah blah blah, and I was like obsessing over it. But I feel like ever since she hit one and once she was able to walk and just she was just on a roll. So I ever since then kind of I've just like let go. But it's kind of exciting because right, like we were talking earlier of how there's different milestones that maybe the pediatrician's asking you about, right? Like, oh, has she been doing this or are they doing this? Just to make sure that they really are on track, like developmentally. But now we're not even seeing them for like a year at a time, which is insane. But then there's those other exciting milestones or like transitions when they're a toddler. And right now, a big one in our house is potty training. And you and I have touched on this of like how freaking scary it is to tackle this one. So we are in the midst of it. Today is technically day 3. And you know what? She has been a little rock star today. And this is what I've heard kind of sort of from like other parents or just in general looking stuff up online of how the timeline might look for those first 3 days, especially if you go like full, we call her Nikki. I'm like, oh, you got your Nikki butt? You're so cute. So we have her shirt on and then she's just fully Nikki on the bottom. Oh, her little tush is just, oh my God, I want to just squeeze it. It's so cute.
So
Do you
cute.
have that same, like,
Always.
you just want to
always,
eat them
always.
alive?
There's nothing like a kid's butt. And like,
Oh
sorry,
my
that
gosh.
sounds crazy, but like even in the bathtub, just like Cooper lays on his tummy and just kicks. Like,
Yes.
your butt is so cute.
Right? And I'm like, man, I want my butt to look like that, honestly. She's got
Nice.
some delicious curves. So anyways, that aside, so I get to just stare at that for the past 3 days. So yeah, she's run around the house. It doesn't mean we haven't left the house at all, which was a big concern for me actually, because that's part of like my anxiety a little bit of just like, I feel like she hits a certain point in the mornings of where she expects or anticipates or just like needs to have a change in
Get out of the
scenery.
house.
So yeah, so I always have something planned. I try to make that a part of our routine. So that's been a little tricky, but the biggest thing is Ben's been home for a long weekend. So full 3 days, he's been able to do it with me, which is like so important for this situation because
Yeah.
it's not easy. I mean, unless like they're fully ready. Like I've heard some stories of parents saying, oh, right when my kiddo was about to turn 3, all of the sudden they were like ready and they wanted to do it on their own and they just got it and that was that. And I'm like, okay, yeah, I mean, we could wait that long, but at the same point, I'm like, I know she has so much potential, so let's just see. And fun fact, we tried this back in December. You remember.
I do remember. Oof.
And we thought she was ready because everyone's like, oh, make sure they're ready. And here's a little list of signs to tell. And the biggest thing for us at that point is she was telling us when she was going, like in her diaper. She'd be like, oh, pee pee, poo poo. And I'm like, oh my gosh, that's so great, Chloe. You're so aware. Like, let's try. But the biggest problem when we did try for 2 or 3 days total. And I was just like, I let it go at that point. But the biggest deterrent at that time was she almost had a power battle with me. She didn't want to do it because I was telling her to do it. And reasoning didn't sit well with her at that point. But nowadays, logic is great with her. I'll say, okay, we're going to sit on the potty for 5 minutes. So we're sitting on the potty first, then we get to play, or then we get to do this. So I'll kind of let her know that there's light at the end of the tunnel. This is temporary. We're going to try. And so that stuff just like really sticks with her. And I've like, I told you earlier, right? Like we didn't buy a guide or anything like that. It's been so tempting because I'd like to know if I'm doing things perfectly right in whoever's eyes.
I do know that about you.
So, but I've just picked other people's brains and looked a little bit online. And yeah, I mean, I think we've been doing a little mix of things. So we did the naked butt for the past 3 days. Maybe tomorrow we'll start,
Panties or
going
something?
out a little bit. I don't know. I don't know what the next step is, to be honest. Oh, and then
I think our app is telling you not to do that.
don't do that. Don't take her out. Will it do fireworks? I don't know if that's going to show on the actual recording. That's hilarious. Anyways, it just popped up a little thumbs down bubble for anyone who's not looking at us and thinks we're insane. So, and I got her, you saw a video of her yesterday. She's wearing a cute little toddler watch and it looks like mine, like the Apple Watch. And she's like, oh, watch just like mama, but it's a potty watch technically. I'm sure we could use it for other things in the future, but it has a 30-minute timer. So it starts playing a little jingle when it's time for her to sit back on the potty. So that's been kind of fun.
That's really cute.
I hand drew a potty chart. It's not my best work, but it does the trick. And we actually aren't using it very much. But everyone always like, that's all over, what is it? Like Instagram or whatever, like whatever someone's doing potty training, there's always a chart. But she hasn't really like picked up on that. That's been fine.
What a
So
milestone this is for you guys. Like
I
the fact that you're at
know.
this point and like even thinking 2 years ago, like the thought of potty training when they were infants is so taboo, right? But like you're at
You
the point
know.
now where you're like in the midst of it and I'm so proud of you guys.
Thanks. Yeah, yeah. It's been feeling good. Like I said, very different from last December when she was so last December she was technically 22 months or something like
Mm-hmm.
that, maybe even almost 20 months. And now she literally just turned 2.5. So that's to give you guys an idea of where she's at and how much time has passed. But today she only had one accident. It's already almost 7 p.m. But she's currently at gymnastics class and out to dinner with Dada, wearing some pull-ups. So yeah, you know what? We're getting there. I think it's really going to stick with her at this point. I've done all I possibly could to prep her and, Ben's been helping me out, but tomorrow I'm a little nervous to just be on my own with her and figure out what we do on that fourth day after being completely naked for a while. So it'll be interesting, but it's nice to just kind of like breathe after we've come this far, even after the past 72 hours, because like we were talking about, this is not it's not fun. It's literally messy. So yeah.
Yeah. Oh, well, I give you a lot of credit. I'm appreciative that you're going first. I think we are still a little bit off on Cooper's potty training journey. I mean, we try to do small things like Chase will go to the bathroom before we take a bath. So we have Cooper go and watch Dad go pee first. And then I try to put Cooper on the potty. And I think at the moment he's a little bit scared, but in the same note, he's a lot more aware. He'll go into the bathroom with me. He'll give me toilet paper. So I think we're close, not quite there yet. But I do think as far as milestones go, like every kid is on their own path and journey and like she's really advanced I think in a lot of ways and I think Cooper has his own path he's gone on. We transitioned another milestone for us as we got him out of his baby crib really young, so we got
Mm-hmm.
him out of his crib at 18 months and we put
That
him in
was
a big boy
huge.
bed. Yeah, it's like that was a pretty big milestone I think for us, and the fact of like it took no time actually for him to like not roll off the bed or not come into our room or like come out at night. And I think that was a really big mom and dad win for us. But also, like, we communicate really, really a lot with Cooper. So, like, we tell him exactly what's happening all the time. We'll go down for a sleep. And then when you wake up, you can bring the toy into mommy and daddy's room or whatever. But that was a big milestone for us. And I mean, today I've had a really busy morning. We got home. I said, okay, Cooper, we got home. Time for a nap. We went in his room. I like gave him a kiss and cuddle. And I said, when you're done, you can come out and give mommy hugs and we can, go to the beach or whatever. And he goes, okay. And he rolls over and goes to sleep. And that's something that I'm
Oh,
really thankful for because I know as we have another baby coming around in the future or whenever that is,
and
having
that's
a
not a
crib in
hint
the
to
house.
everyone.
Back off, everyone. You'll be one of the first people to know
Back off.
once we get to that point. But I think that having the crib in the room would be confusing, and so some people say by 3 cut the baby bed and go into the big toddler bed. But I think Cooper is beyond ready. He was longer than the bed. He's 100 percentile for height. So he was out of the crib height wise a long time ago anyway. So I'm really happy that he's in that point. And as we were talking about earlier about like going to the pediatrician and having these milestones. It's so interesting because you do go for the first year of the baby's life every month, every 2 months for vaccines,
Yeah.
but also like to see how are they looking on the scales. You get a chart, how high are they, how tall are they, what's their head shape, what's their weight compared to all these other kids. So initially it's a comparison game. And that's a really interesting thing because moving down here and joining the healthcare system in Australia and going to the doctors, there was no comparison. And as I was at the park with friends going, oh, Cooper's not, he didn't hit the 100 words by the time he was 2, like they said, I said, he says it around Chase and I, but not around the doctor. And they're like,
Mm-hmm.
you don't need to worry about getting a speech pathologist or anything like that until they hit this age. And I do find that in America, it was a lot more like, here's the routine, here's the map, here's all this, all of these guides you have to hit. And it's
Mm-hmm.
interesting because everyone ends up in the same race. Everyone, like, no one goes to kindergarten not potty trained. No one goes to kindergarten, still having a dummy in their mouth or still taking a bottle, and every kid's on their own journey. And I think it's important as moms to like enjoy these milestones because they're huge for you and I, and the kids don't
Yes.
necessarily know what they are. But I think for us, it's so good to celebrate these big milestones. Potty training for you, sleeping in their big boy beds. Cooper's now talking so much more. And that's a
Oh,
big win in our house. But no one
yeah.
else really knows that we've been like not worried about his speech, but like aware of his language
Yeah.
development, right? But those milestones in our house have been really big and exciting and things that I love to celebrate. And for you, like you guys hit milestones. Obviously, we spoke about last week. Chloe's going to her big swim lessons by herself now, and she's leveling up in gymnastics, or she, and I love talking about this sort of thing because it's more wins for mom and dad. It's more like milestones as parents that like you're saying goodbye to one chapter of that, of that life and you're opening a new one, right? So you almost could be done changing diapers forever, especially if
Oh
you
my
guys don't have
gosh.
any more kids, as we spoke about. You might be fully done.
Oh my
Granted, you might
gosh.
now be wiping kids' butts inside the toilet at Target, which who knows which one you'd rather do, bending over and wiping a kid's butt. But in the same note, it's all big wins for us, and I think that's something exciting to celebrate.
Yeah, thank you for kind of putting that perspective because, like, I get so tunnel vision on what's going on right now and, like, all the details and logistics that, like I even said, I can't even picture tomorrow because I've been so in what's today, the first 3 days of potty training, but I haven't been able to, like, allow myself to get excited for the next steps because I've been so worried about, like, her hitting a certain step or getting to a certain point. So, like, I feel like that's a really good reminder, probably not just for me, but for a lot of people listening too, of just to give yourself a pat on the back and, like, just recognize like how far you've come, and things might still be hard, but they will forever be changing and looking different. And it's kind of exciting. Like, I'm not really excited to wipe her butt in Target, but you know what, we're going to be out and I won't have to change her diaper, like lay her down on the changing table, and eventually she'll wipe her own butt. That's going to be great. I'm psyched. But even just picturing her being in the next level up from her swim class, right? Like, we're going to be starting that, and she's going to be on the other side of the glass. I'm going to be watching her in the chairs with all the other parents and families, and it's going to be a little sad, but I'm mostly excited for her and for myself, and just to kind of get to that next step of her independence and like just her becoming her own little being and so freaking capable, and making that bond with other kids and the teachers and whoever. But another thing during our potty training that I'm trying not to get too excited for her, like her cheerleader. I don't want to be too like insane in her face, but I definitely
Yeah.
want to give her the positive reinforcement. But I'm saying, "Oh my gosh, Chloe, I'm so proud of you," each time she gets something in the potty. But I'll say right after, or might not even say I'm proud of her. I'll say, "Oh my gosh, Chloe, are you so proud of yourself right now?" And she'll just kind of look at me. It's taking her some time to register what the heck that means, but I'm like, "Do you want to say, I'm proud of myself?" So she'll say it. And it's really special. And it also gives me that reality check that she needs to be, you know, in this too. It's not just me pushing her to do it and setting everything up. Like, she's winning here too for herself. So it's exciting to
Yeah,
do these little wins with them, the little
it
high
is.
fives.
And something that you reminded me of the other day is like, I think you phrase it as, okay, so if you're worried about something or if something's not going your way, let's play out the worst case scenario. Okay, so you're worried about day 4.
Yes.
What is, let's play out. What is the worst that could happen? Okay, she has accidents all day, you're exhausted, whatever. At the end of the day, she still loves you. You still love her. You still have the availability to get diapers. You still have the availability to wake up the next day and try again. And I really liked that perspective because there's so many seasons of motherhood that you're going to go through. There's sleep regressions. There's sleep regressions at 2 years old that we forget about. I mean, there are sleep regressions. There are, dental appointments. There's doctors we're scared of. There's fears about their kids. Like, I'm going through right now taking Cooper to daycare or finding childcare. And like in my head, I'm so scared of him going to childcare because I
Mm.
love to be with him. But in the same note, like, what's the best thing that could happen is Cooper is going to have such a fun time. He's going to have a cool little accent. He's going to learn new words. He's going to grow. And I mean, like, that stuff is just to push him ahead. I think I just get so caught up, and I love the baby that he is. I love babies. I love him. And then like last night we were on the couch reflecting back on pictures, and he goes, baby Cooper. And it was like
Oh.
new pictures and like that first couple years. And it was like so crazy to see how much he's grown and how much like he's changed. I mean, there's a picture of him. He was all blue because he was under the jaundice light, and he always looked at me kind of funny, and I looked at him now and looked at, and just the fact of how many milestones we've won and hit and gone through. I mean, we've counted 32 airplane rides Cooper's been on since he's been born, and they're always
Wow.
fearful of what he's scared of, or what are we scared of, or what's the worst that could happen. And then you just like look and you celebrate the wins and you enjoy all those moments, and you get through hard days and you get through those potty training, those 3 days of hell you were talking about. I mean, potty training is scary, but you get through them and you come out on top, and you're still your kid's mom, and they love you and you love them. And you can have a week of hard, but it always gets better. And you get to see that new kid and those milestones. You know, you hit them and then you're always going for that next one. But it's also important to sit and reflect on what's happening right now. Who's the kid in front of you? You just hit that milestone. Celebrate that. Have your kid
Yeah.
be excited too. And it's so cool. And I love it. It's so amazing.
And this is only the beginning too, because there's going to be so many other different types of milestones that we're going to be
Oh
hitting
my God.
with them. So I love phrasing it in that way. We're doing it with them. So we get to
Yeah.
celebrate ourselves too as the parents and the moms. And I think that's important too, is just to like take the time to acknowledge that with yourself and your partner, like your husband. And it's just like, because you're so in it, and it's nice to kind of acknowledge each other as parents in that way, and like be like, yeah, we did that, we helped them
We're a
do
good
that.
team.
Yeah.
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 Oh, and it does take a village. It does take a team. It does take people around you to be on the same goal. I mean, I was just at the playground the other day with my friend, and she was babysitting her niece, and her niece is in the middle of potty training, and she literally pulled her pants down at the playground to start going pee. And immediately my friend grabbed her and goes, "All right, we're going to go do a bush wee." And she like took her over, she peed, pulled her up, recognized it, and moved on. And like, instead of going, "Oh my gosh, I'm having to potty train another kid," she was just like, "Yep, it takes a village." You know, her sister had to have her watch her kids because something happened or whatever with work and daycare. And she's like, "Well, they were in the middle of potty training. It's my sister, or it takes a team." And so it was really wonderful to see like the little girl, she was adorable. Harper went and peed, and Ellie like helped her. They got it done, and they moved on. And it just takes a team and it takes a village. And I'm interested to see how Cooper is going to go with the potty training. It is a bit daunting at the moment. He's a bit scared of the toilet, but in the same note, I was talking to her and she was saying with little boys, like, especially with spring being here, like just taking off the diaper or playing in the front yard, backyard, around the house, just kind of being naked. And, you know, if it happens, oh, just go down to the bush, but also trying to recognize like it is okay. And also, I've heard a funny joke about how you're supposed to put like I think it's Cheerios in the toilet so you can help them keep the aim. And so you're trying
Oh,
to,
yes,
with
you've
a
mentioned
little
that.
with the little wiener, they're trying to keep. And I have no experience in this. I only have sisters, and
Yeah,
then
yeah.
I had like boy cousins, but like, and I was the oldest of 9 cousins, so I would, you know, like be around, but I wasn't there in the nitty gritties of potty training. I would help change their diapers when they were little. And then next time I'd see them, it'd be like 6 months later and, oh, yep, they're potty trained. Right. And so I
Mm-hmm.
wasn't part of that process. So this whole boy functioning thing,
Be like,
I'm
hey, Chase,
used.
this one's you.
Hey, Chase, I'm out of town this weekend. You got this one. Oh, God. Can you imagine? No, I'm asking my
He,
mother in law all the help
yeah,
because she did it with
yes.
Chase, and she said she's the one that told me about the Cheerio trick. And I don't know if that's more towards aim because I don't know if Cooper would even know aim at this point in time. But
He'd
I
just want to
just
eat it. Put something else in there that he's not going to want to
oh,
eat.
stop. God, gross. Oh, well, speaking
Sick.
of that, I saw something on Instagram yesterday that people are putting food dye on poops. Like so, like
Why?
they go like so. For example, if Chloe were to poop in the potty, instead of it being like a sad thing to flush it down the toilet, they're putting like food coloring in and they're coloring the poops. They get excited about it. I'll send you this Instagram reel over I saw. And like
Whatever
they're like, okay,
works.
what color do you want to pick? And she picked pink. And so they put a couple pink dyes and then it's pink and then they flush it down the toilet. And then she was like excited about her poop. And I'm like, I've never heard of that. But look, everyone has their own method. It seemed to work for them. The older kid was in there cheering the kid on. And I was just like, food coloring in the
Sure.
poop. I guess that's it. Sorry, guys.
Like, who
Trigger
would have
warning.
thought of that? I know, right? It's
Oh
so
my
interesting
god.
because that also makes me think, like, oh, is Chloe going to develop a fear, or like, is she going to change with like time? But she has no issues with peace out poo poos, peace out pee pees, and we just pour it from her little potty into the big potty. Got to
Yuck.
kind of get it out of there
Yuck,
from
yuck,
the
yuck,
poo.
yuck. Gross stuff. Oh my
Anyways, done
goodness.
with the potty training talk. What else is there?
Oh my goodness. Other milestones. Well, Look, I think that like training wheels is some other things that everyone's hitting. Like Cooper's doing rail. We're not putting training wheels on any of his bikes. We're just doing the Strider bikes, which is kind of like a balance bike, and it's kind of getting some motion there. Like just like in general, our kids hit milestones, and I think it's really important to reflect and enjoy them and not rush to the next thing. And that can be kind of like the summary of our episode is just
100%.
each step we get to is a win, and milestones should be celebrated.
Yes, agreed. Yes, good reminder for myself and everyone else who's listening, because it can't be said enough.
Yeah. Oh, well, I think this was good. I think we kind of hit a lot of the topics. Sorry for anyone who is eating or wasn't signed up for this, but at the end of the day, this is mom talk. This is life, and we're not going to sugarcoat it or, hide anything from what it is.
If you got a kid, you know what's happening. So
yeah, no surprises there.
Or if you're expecting or whatever, hoping or just wanting to listen to support, then yes, we are sorry.
Yeah. All right, guys. Well, that wraps up our episode on milestones and big things happening in our lives. We really appreciate you guys for coming into our episodes, into our lives, and watching us on Spotify or, YouTube, but also like you guys have been following us along on our journey with Instagram, and it's been really fun. We have a lot of fun making reels and posts and kind of like share a little bit of the day in the lives of us, but in the same breath, it's just we want it to be a place where people can come together and relate and laugh, and we share bits and pieces of content that's coming out throughout the week of our episodes. So we'll give a little spoiler, but we also highlight some of our big topics of our episodes, and we want you guys to comment, enjoy, follow, share, and be a part of our community. The more you guys write into us and the more you guys respond to our stories, the more we actually know what you're looking for as far as content goes. So we just wanted to really highlight that, and thank you guys for helping. Miss Elena is our Instagram curator. She is all over that. I would say She is most of the face behind the Instagram. And
I try.
Just give you a huge shout out because it takes a lot of work and a lot of like creativity, and you are the curator behind the scenes, and I send you over content as best I can, and you take some crap content, you make it into art, and I really want to really thank you for all of what you do, and I think it's going well. So
thanks. Well, right back at you for being the editor of our podcast, the bigger picture of what we're all doing. So you're the rock star here, Missy.
Well, I enjoy working with you, and I think we'd make a good team.
Yeah.
And I think that about wraps it up for today.
Yeah. I'm excited for our next episode. Juicy topic to come. And yeah, we'll catch you guys next time.
All right, guys. We'll see you later.
Bye.
Thanks for joining us on this week's episode of Mom Meets World. If you enjoyed listening, please give us a like, subscribe, and find us on Instagram at Mom Meets World Pod.
Because sometimes you just need another mom to remind you that you're getting it right more than you're getting it wrong. See you next time.